everybody. Welcome to the Barkada Podcast. It's Saturday, a beautiful Saturday here in Oshkosh, February 27th, 2021. Today we have Patricia back here again, and we have Chef Ninoy here in the house at Manila.
Hello, everybody.
So we have lots to talk about today, but we can start off by having you introduce yourself a little bit. Tell everybody what your name is.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ninoy Sadora. My real name is Benigno Sadora. It will be hard for you guys to pronounce, so you can just call me Ben for short.
Ben? No, we'll call you Ninoy.
Okay. I like it better.
Yeah. So, Kuya Ninoy. Kuya, again, is a older brother. He's not really my brother, but I call him that out of respect. You're from where, again, in the Philippines?
I'm from Nueva Vizcaya, north of Luzon, the big island.
What? Not Bambang, but...
That's Bambang.
Oh, you are in Bambang.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm from Bambang, Nueva Vizcaya.
So when you guys say like Almaguer and stuff like that, what do you mean by that? Or where is that?
That's a community of Bambang.
Oh, okay. So
Bambang is the town.
Gotcha. So like maybe like the town of Algoma is still Oshkosh or something like that? Something similar like that, or not really?
Or is it like barrio?
Barrio, yeah.
So the neighborhood, kind of the area barrio.
Nice.
So Bambang town is composed of 26 barangay.
Okay.
Our community.
Nice. Nice little different pockets in the area. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's super familiar to you because that's where your family's from, your mom's side.
Yes.
Right. And
Yep.
so those connections go way back then, right?
Yeah. Our families are pretty close. I remember I don't remember, but I've been told when Lolo was into politics and was mayor of Bambang, like your father was right by him, right?
Yeah.
He's one of his bodyguards.
Uh-huh. She's always there, yeah.
Yeah. And to kind of tell a bit more of the story of our families.
Actually, your Lolo's house, where your moms grew up,
Mm-hmm.
that became our house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And then because your Lolo or your family moved to the city.
I see. The big city part of Bambang.
Yeah.
So Bambang is how many hours away from Manila?
About 5 hours.
And that's a lot faster now than what it was before, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness. I remember my first trip to Bambang, and we went in the middle of the night because then it was less traffic. But I couldn't sleep because I was terrified. Like, it's like you're on mountain edges, mountain cliffs. It's terrifying.
It's not that bad to us.
Yeah, we have that crooked highway.
Crooked highway. Yep, makes sense.
And I think that was named under General Dalton.
I
think he was the one who engineered that highway.
Oh, okay. American?
It's American.
Okay.
I think he's a soldier. He was a general, I think, and he was in command of Nueva Vizcaya at that time.
Okay. Nice. So you were born and raised there pretty much, right?
Yeah, I was born in that house of your Lolo and then grew up there.
Okay. How big's your family?
We are 8.
8 of you.
8 kids in the
I'm
family?
8 kids and I'm the youngest.
So what do you call the youngest again in Tagalog?
Bunso.
Bunso.
I'm the bunso.
Yeah.
And just as a reminder, Lolo is grandpa, if that one escaped you. So when he talks about his Lolo, that's Marlo's grandpa.
And then when we refer to Lola, it's grandmother. So all that fun stuff you guys are learning out there.
A little lesson.
Yeah. So how was it being the youngest out of 8? What's the age gap? Sorry, my Tagalog is switching over here with Kuya here, but who's the oldest?
Kuya Rohel.
Oh, okay. What's the age gap there?
Maybe almost 20.
Oh, wow.
That's impressive. Your mom was one impressive lady.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we refer to her as Tita Vicky. Like, she took care of us, and your dad too, Tito Abat. Like, I remember when they were living here in Oshkosh, from time to time, they would help our family out, and he'd be driving me around. I remember him picking me up and taking me to, golf practice, basketball practice, music rehearsals, whatever. Like, he was fun. I just remember riding around in the van with him and the radio, and we didn't really talk too much because he spoke Ilocano, right?
Yeah.
Then Tagalog was okay, but not like he was more comfortable with Ilocano.
Yeah, old folks doesn't really speak Tagalog. Tagalog was more on, not even on my level or my age.
Yeah.
Because before, when we speak Tagalog, it was like, oh wow, you're like kind of different person.
Sure.
Like fancier, bigger city kind of thing?
Yeah, it's like a city boy or something if you speak Tagalog.
So Ilocano is your that region of the Philippines, that's their pocket of the language there. That's your first language.
Yeah,
is
the
Ilocano.
whole region though.
Okay.
And for those of you that don't know, like, there are tons of different dialects in the Philippines. That's not just Tagalog. Tagalog is known as one of the national languages.
Yeah.
Along with English, and can you say Filipino also? Is Filipino considered a language there? Or?
No, it should be, Filipino should be the language, but then used to be Tagalog was the place where people speak Filipino. But then they made it like Tagalog and Filipino is the same, and then forgotten about Filipino. Filipino start with letter P. You're referring to the language. But you say Filipino with F, you're referring to the people.
We are full of lessons today. That was excellent. I've always wondered that because sometimes I feel like it switches. And even like I'm looking at our windows here at Manila that one says Filipino Sushi and Rabada. And for a while, someone said, no, that should be a P instead of the F for Filipino. But if it's Filipino food, then the F is correct.
Yeah.
Perfect. Good.
Yeah.
I think we need to back up and clarify something for a minute. So you grew up, you're born and raised in Bambang. And when did you come to the United States?
I migrated here in the United States in 1995.
1995 with your parents?
No.
Solo?
By myself. They were the one who
They sponsored
sponsored me.
because you were here
petition
before.
me.
And then Manang Edna, Manang, older sister, she was here first too,
First,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So your sister, then your parents, then
Then
you.
my parents, and then me, yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Do you have any more siblings in the U.S.?
No, it's just me and my sister, older sister.
Okay.
Yeah. Backtracking to the whole Ilocano thing, like, whenever I heard Mama talking in Ilocano, I knew I was either in trouble or she was talking about me, or she was saying something that she did not want me to understand. Believe me, I've tried to pick it up. I don't think I can. I don't have the ear for it. But Tagalog, I'm there. Like, growing up in, obviously a Filipino household with my parents when I was younger, that's all they spoke to me in English also, but they spoke to me in Tagalog. I would speak back to them in Tagalog. But then it was just one of those things where a switch flipped. Like, when I started going to school and I realized that no one else was speaking Tagalog, and I'm like, well, okay. And then my memory of a discussion that happened with Mama was, she's asking me, so you don't want to speak Tagalog anymore? And I did my little, no. So.
No.
And now you regret.
Yeah, well, I got it. I just got to get over my accent, man.
But I use that story with my own students because my students are all non-native English speakers that I work with. And a lot of times they try to downplay that part of their family life or their culture. And I'm like, no, here's the story of my husband. And so he can understand everything, but he doesn't feel as comfortable speaking it. And so you have to speak it at home. You're not going to speak it at school. So speak your first language at home. Because, like, being bilingual, are you bilingual or no, you're trilingual then.
Trilingual.
Because Ilocano, Tagalog, and English.
He dabbles in Spanish.
And Spanish.
A little bit.
Look at that.
Poquito.
Okay, so it's like a superpower. Look at all these superpowers you have with the different languages. So I love that, and I love that it's widely accepted and it's assumed that you are multilingual in the Philippines.
Yeah, Spanish was a prerequisite in school before. When I was in school, we have to take Spanish class, but we hate it though because
it was a language of
It was a language of a foreign country, and then why do we have to learn? We're not already colonized by Spain. And then when I migrated here, I regret. Why did not learn that good?
How were your English skills when you came here? You said 95 you came?
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
Well, English was how far back was English taught in the school systems there?
from elementary.
Elementary.
The textbook was already in English.
So very well into while you were in school, right? It was in English.
And then, if after school or outside school, we don't speak English anymore. So that's why the accent is really very strong. And one thing more, the teacher also have accent. So we have the Filipino accent English.
Oh yeah.
That makes sense. Right?
Speaking of English accents in the Philippines, they're like the number one resource of the Philippines is manpower, right? Like in the country and overseas and everything like that. And the thing that's super interesting to me is that when there's call centers there, right?
A lot, yeah.
And they're actually trained to have like certain accents. But I don't know if it's me because I have the ear for it. I can just tell. Like I seriously just whenever I'm on like a call with someone, I'm like, hey,
credit card company or Beachbody or whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, where are you in the Philippines? And they're like, I'm sorry, sir. They're obviously not supposed to be like, oh yeah, but
hanging out in the Philippines.
That's just kind of a fun little story. But
Yeah.
but yeah, no, we on our previous episode, like we were talking about how we hope that our kids pick up something, especially now, because now's the time for them to be developing those language skills, right?
That's on you.
So we're trying to push Ninong here. Ninong is their godfather, but Ninoy and my parents and whoever, just to speak to them in Tagalog a little bit, but it's hard.
Yeah. So Ninong means godfather, and so that's this here. Our Chef Ninoy is also our Ninoy for the kiddos. So both Evelyn and Reginald's godfather.
It was a little bit of a tongue twister at first when they were younger.
So just the Ninong.
Yep.
Ninong.
But they're good now.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So did you go to university here in the U.S.?
No.
So you got your degree in
I got my
Philippines?
degree in the Philippines.
Okay. And then were you able to transition easily into your career?
Yeah. What did you study in the Philippines then?
I studied nursing. And when I finished, then that's the time that I was also, my papers of coming here in the United States was already approved. So I wasn't able to work there. But then when I came here, I was able to use it now.
That's good. And then
It was a long process, but
yeah.
To get everything transferred over.
yeah.
Yeah. So then you started off as a nurse here in the U.S.?
No, I work as a surgical. I work in the OR, operating room, for 10 years.
Okay.
And I was a surgical assistant.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, at first. It was really enjoyable. You were able to play with things inside. I mean, not play, but touch.
Yeah.
You can touch them, you can...
You would have been the person for the job then, because that makes me think that is not enjoyable. How is that enjoyable? But hey, good. Glad someone...
Yeah, I've seen a lot of like some medical students passed out during procedure.
But that was never you.
And you were just like, ooh,
I've never.
what's going on there?
Maybe that's why you do so well doing our whole carcass of the whole lechon, right? You have no issues with that.
No.
No. Whereas some people might get a little squeamish with like the whole process of slaughtering a whole pig.
Yeah, we're like, oh, Kuya, what's that? Like, oh, that's a spleen.
Yeah, it's easy to identify all those parts and organs.
Yeah. But did you have to, this might be TMI for some people, but in medical school, did you have to work with like cadavers or like animals or anything like that when studying organs? And
In school?
yeah,
No, we just we use animals.
animals. Okay.
Not, I don't think they allow us to use cadavers in the Philippines.
Gotcha. Right on. So, fast forward now. How long have you been in Oshkosh?
How old is Evelyn?
That's a good one. She just turned 7, so roughly
7,
8 years, maybe 8, 9 years. 8 years.
9 years.
9
I
years.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 years. 2011. December 13, 2011.
Look at that. There's the date.
Yeah. And then kind of playing on to our Manila story here. Ninoy was between jobs at the time while we were getting things started here. And because he was not into anything quite yet, we asked him if he wanted to help out. And he said, yeah, sure. You know, if you know anything about, Ninoy, like he's willing to help in any way, shape, or form. If he's able to, he will be there for you. That's one of the things that we love about him. Well, we'll get into the Manila story a little bit later. But then, how long ago has it been now since you became a citizen, a U.S. citizen? 3 years?
I think 3 years.
I thought longer.
That was a year before my wife came in.
Yeah.
And now she's been here 2 years. All right.
Yeah.
You know your story.
Yeah, we'll share a picture of him also during his first voting.
Oh, yeah.
That was such a cool moment for you, right?
That was so exciting.
I think you took a selfie right away, and you showed me your sticker that I voted.
I voted, and I got the wrong color.
So you had been in the U.S. for so long, you just hadn't gotten your citizenship because you were here with the other documents, and so
I was immigrant. I am a legal alien, so I can travel anywhere. But then I realized I need my wife here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it wasn't too long after you became a citizen that she came here, right? That was
A year.
quick and easy process. So if there's anybody here that needs some help with some immigration papers, he's your man. He's gone through it. He knows what to do. You have any other thoughts about that one?
what did she say? Hey, you need to get your citizenship because we had the history that I told Marlo he hadn't gotten confirmed in the Catholic Church, even though he went to all the Catholic schooling, and I said, don't even try proposing to me until you get confirmed because we can't get married in the Catholic Church until then. And so he had to go through all of the confirmation and everything before he could even propose. And so was it more like, so that was me making sure like, hey, I want these things to happen. Let's get on with this. So was it Ate Teresa saying, hey, you need to get your citizenship so I can come over there? Or was it like, hey, I need to get my citizenship so you can come here? How did that story go?
No, I think I kept lying on her.
Is she going to listen to this?
We'll find out.
Yeah, I think she
You kept
was.
lying to her? What were you lying to her about?
No, I mean, not lying things. I kept on. It was a long process in the sense that.
There were a lot of roadblocks, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I already applied the papers for her. and then something happened, and then it was set aside again, and then when I checked, and then I have to reapply again.
Yeah, I imagine I saw like what you were going through, just the frustration about just not necessarily dealing with the same person, right? Like they just look at the case file and then depending on.
And then they will say they told me that it was kind of abandoned. The paper was abandoned because it took a long time. And at that time, everything was computerized, and I hate computers. I'm not a computer guy. I'm not a millennial.
Yeah, give you a stack of papers, you can fill them out, no problem.
Yeah. So I think that was one of the reasons. They said that they keep sending emails on me about the papers. And then all of a sudden, I wasn't able to check all the emails. So that was happening. They said that it was abandoned, the papers. And that's why I have to reapply again. And then when I reapplied, my green cards or my papers was about to expired.
Yeah.
Then I have to apply for my.
You had to do those. You had to take care of your green card and then start the whole process
and
all over again.
Start all over again.
Yeah.
And then when I was able to apply my green card, the green card itself was lost by mail.
That's right.
In the mail.
Yeah.
So I have when I reported it to the immigration, they said I have to reapply again.
Oh my goodness.
Reapply for a new card. The same cost of money of reapplying for a new
Oh, so
card.
they didn't waive it. You had to pay for everything again.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So I have to apply. Then I have to think again, what should I do? And then it's good that one of the immigration personnel told me or advised me that why not just applying for citizenship?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
And it's the same thing. You are already legal and everything.
Yeah.
It's updated. You just need to apply for the citizenship.
Perfect.
But hey, it took 13 years for me to to bring my wife here.
13 years.
13 years.
Yeah. But I mean, you visited at least once a year.
Yeah,
when
once
you were
a year.
able to, right? Spend
Yeah,
some time there.
since we got married, the longest that we stayed together was 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
I stayed there for 3 months, and that's about it.
That's the incredible thing about when you see Filipinos overseas working, a lot of them in the service industries and stuff like that. Whenever we see them in hotels or cruise ships, resorts, we hear their stories, and they're away from their families for quite some time. Like you said, 9 months, 10 months, depending on where their assignments are, and then they'll spend. Usually, holidays would be nice, but it doesn't work out for everybody that way. But yeah, it's a sacrifice, but they're doing their part in providing for their families, because money elsewhere does go a long way back in the Philippines. But it just kind of goes to show like the heart and the willingness to sacrifice the things that they need to do to be there for their families.
And that goes hand in hand with what you went through. Like you were so committed to, like, once you started on the paperwork to get her here, like before she had a career there, she had family there that she was with, and then once things kind of changed, like she needed to come here as well, right? And so like you could have given up on the paperwork. It's not your first language, writing in English, although you've studied enough with it for years and had careers and been in the United States for so long. And it would have been easy, right, to quit, but you didn't. So way to go. Way to go.
Yeah.
Another good quality we got over here with Chef Ninoy.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick pause here, but we're going to get into the Manila beat and then wrap things up with Osh Talk. We're going to talk about Chef Ninoy's, early memories of cooking and what he thinks about Filipino food and the direction that Filipino food is heading here in the States and stuff like that. And yeah, we have a lot of exciting stories about of our earlier days here at Manila, and you'll hear some behind the scenes stuff, the different hoops that we had to go through, but we're here now. So
yeah. There we go.
Right on. We'll be right back.
You need more coffee.
Yeah.
Manila Resto now has delivery exclusively through manilaresto.com. Visit us on our website to place an order or give us a call at 920-230-1082 to place an order for curbside, pickup, or delivery. Place an order anytime between 11 a.m. and 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday, and let us bring your Manila Resto favorites to you. Mabuhay! Okay, welcome back. We are here now with Chef Ninoy and Patricia. We're now going to get into the Manila beat. Kind of a segue into what you do here, Chef. Do you remember like your earliest memory of cooking?
In Manila.
Wherever. No, back in the Philippines.
Back in the Philippines,
Yeah.
I cooked.
Like when you were
Not Manila here, Manila there. No.
Manila there.
Manila, Philippines. When I was in college, I cooked with because I used to live with my sister who is married.
Mm-hmm.
Then I cook for our dinner sometimes.
Gotcha. Well, I guess that's another thing that people should know. Not usually, but there are times where families will have their own cooks, right, at home. So maybe cooking to some people is not necessarily something that they just pick up unless they wanted to, right? And sorry to sidetrack a little bit, but for me, like when I wanted to start learning how to cook was when I started going to college.
Oh.
So I was like, I'm not going to be at home. Even though it was here in Oshkosh, I still showed up at Mom and Papa's door to do laundry, eat, and all that fun stuff, or I'd ask them to make me food. But anyways, one of the first dishes I remember learning to cook with Mama and Papa was adobo, which is a staple in the Philippines. That's my first memory of first Filipino food that I've ever put together.
Do you remember yours?
Mine was the igado.
Igado?
I don't even know that one.
It's how do I say it? It's like a Ilocano national dish, I think.
So it's a northern
Northern
dish. It's known in the north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That everybody is always aiming to learn how to cook that.
Ooh.
Can you say it again?
Igado.
Ikado.
Igado is like from the root word igado. I think it comes from Spanish, like liver.
Oh. So it's a liver dish.
Yeah, it's a liver and some pork lean.
Okay. Has Patty had it?
I think so, but she didn't eat. She didn't eat the liver part.
I can tell as soon as there's a liver dish that I taste it, and then I'm like, ooh,
So
excellent.
We
I'm
trick
gonna
you
pass
one
on that.
time then.
Well, what about your
Well,
German roots? Come on.
What we did is when we ate that one time, we separate a little bit of the liver.
Thanks for accommodating for me. Appreciate it. And the same happens though with like the chocolate meat, because that's made out of liver also.
No,
What is that one?
the innards.
Innards.
Yeah.
Innards.
The pork
So-
bloods too.
But when
When you make
when
it
you
here
are
though.
when we know that you'll be part of it,
Use pork belly.
just pork belly
And then
or
it's
just
so good.
just the meat.
Yes. And so then it's hard because I have it at the Resto, Manila Resto. You make it with pork belly, and then I love the chocolate meat. and it's good. And then I'll get to like a Filipino party. I'm like, oh yeah. And then I put it on my plate and I'm like, ooh, I bet this is not pork belly. I bet this is the innards. And then, and then I have to pass on it because I have not acquired that taste, and it's not a goal of mine to acquire that taste. Not gonna lie.
It's fine. There's plenty of other Filipino food
Plenty
that
of other food.
you enjoy, right?
So that was the first dish that you made. And so I'm guessing that when you moved to the U.S., did you live alone or did you live with your parents or your sister?
I live with my parents.
Okay. And so then with Tita Vicky, did you ever cook for her or did she do all the cooking?
She does all the cooking.
All the cooking.
Dude,
She won't let me cook.
Did you know? So maybe you've heard me tell this story before. There was the time when she was staying at your house while your parents were on vacation, and you were on vacation with them, and I was teaching, and she was taking care of the dog, and they said, well, you know, your mom was a bit older and still taking care of the dog. And they're like, you know, just stop by, check on her thing. So I ended up just staying the evenings. I spent the night, and then I would just go to work in the morning from there. And the first day that happened, she had made me this huge breakfast. And these were my first years teaching, and I didn't even eat breakfast at that point in my life. Everyone eat your breakfast. It's good for you. Eat it now. But I didn't eat breakfast, and I was like, I felt so bad, and I was like, I really need to go. I have to go right now. Like if I eat, I'm gonna be late. I gotta go, right? And it was just coffee, and I'd go out the door. So then the next morning, like I made sure I woke up early so that I could, you know, like, because she was so disappointed, and like it's the hardest thing in the world to disappoint your mom. She was so sweet, and so so then that morning, it was like we had this whole miscommunication then because she didn't really make the breakfast then because she's like, well, you don't eat the breakfast. And so then she quick like whipped something up and it worked out perfectly. And so then it just, you know, that was our routine for that week or so. And so I can see that if there's no way that she would have let you cook, it would have been all her and she would have taken care of you just like she did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whenever she stayed over, you know, with at our house with my parents, like she'd make us some killer meals. Very good. There's nothing like your mom's meals, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She cook good food all the time.
Yeah. And you can probably attest to this, like they can give us all the recipes, like the same recipes, and they can tell us exactly how to do it, but
it's different.
It's different.
It's always different.
A running joke that we have here at Manila is, you know, extra feelings.
Extra.
You got to throw extra feelings in there. And it's just true, you know?
All that love. People can taste it. Tastes different, right?
For sure.
Mother's love is the most different of all.
Yeah. So a little bit about the history of when we took over the property here where Manila is. We put a lot of focus upstairs at Algoma Club because that was the space that didn't take as much time for us to flip and get open. We painted the walls. We added some TVs.
Put in brand new windows.
Redid
all the carpeting.
The carpeting. Oh, man. We were ripping out all of those things, and you helped with quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
You helped with the carpet, taking out the carpets and doing some painting. There was a lot of clutter that we just took care of and just threw in dumpsters and stuff. Speaking of like hidden treasures, like this building is known as on the historical log now as Oddfellows Hall, and you'll see like the big stone work that's up in the front of the building. It has the IOOF symbol there.
International Order of Oddfellows.
Yep. And do you remember all the different things that we found upstairs in the attic? Do you remember like the capes and like the hats and the spears?
I know, there's a lot of them.
Yeah. And then there was this old weathered like cloth cross. It was like, I don't know, it looked really, really different. Let's put it that way. But yeah, there was just so many things that were collected over the years, and a lot of that stuff we donated to the public museum. I don't know if they have them there, but we also found some old panels from the Hotel Athern. And one of them that we were able to restore, and we haven't framed. We just have to find a spot to hang up yet. But yeah, we were busy just clearing out a whole bunch of stuff, and then one thing led to another. The Algoma Club was ready to go. Manila was still being renovated. We were still in the planning stages there, but we also wanted to get a jump start in introducing what our menu was, so that's where we came up with Manila teaser menu, right?
Yeah, so we had we established regular bar hours at Algoma Club so that the public could come in, check out the space. It worked as a really great conversation piece to get people to look at the banquet hall, just because a lot of people, it was such a hidden gem. I remember when we were looking at the property to purchase it, we had been married the year before, and if you caught episode 2, you knew that as soon as we were married, like boom, he was looking to start his restaurant, which I was really surprised at. So we were bouncing around to these locations, and when we saw Algoma Club, I was like, oh my goodness, I would have had a rehearsal dinner here or some part of the wedding here or like a baby shower here, because the space upstairs at Algoma Club is just gorgeous. It's stunning. So it was really nice to have the bars, the open public hours, and then, of course, why wouldn't we add on the teaser menu? Because our kitchen was ready to go. It was just the dining space at Manila, and working on, you had a cousin that you were trying to get from overseas to be the head chef here, that all that was kind of pending. And so then we started off with that teaser menu.
Yeah, and then shout out to Guyo Junjun too. He was there helping us out too with our teaser menu, and he helped us just kind of get things started, you know. You guys were kitchen buddies at the time, because you guys were just hanging out downstairs, and we're upstairs kitchen, like tending to the guests or whoever was there.
Yeah, and a lot of that teaser menu, that was the beginning concept of the appetizers on our actual menu. Mm-hmm. So it was just like the
everyone
baby footsteps.
Loved the pork skewers. Lumpia was another thing that we had there. We didn't.
I think the crab rangoon.
Did we have crab rangoon already? No.
Oh, not yet.
Not yet. And
I think what we have was the lumpias and
the skewers. Maybe chicken.
And then,
right? The chicken
then
yakitori.
Eventually we have the chicken.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was that
Chicken
teaser menu
yakitori.
because you're getting the community ready for what's to come.
Yeah, and that was cool. Like, we had some people like, oh, we can't wait for you to open up the restaurant, and they really enjoyed having just a little bit of a taste of what we were going to have to offer. So yeah, time progressed. The renovations at Manila were moving along quite smoothly, and we got to a point where like, oh, we need to open up. Like, we're ready to go.
Hold on, when you say quite smoothly, they were like the most horrific renovation processes ever.
That's
just so you know.
the long and short of it, I guess.
But we'll gloss over that part for now.
Yeah.
It was horrific, but in
There's
other news.
lots of different things that we had updated with the building. I mean, just outside of what we did at Algoma Club, we needed to get the new roof. We got the new sprinkler system. Probably hoping that that's the best investment we don't ever have to use. But with putting in the sprinkler system, we needed to get a new water main because our water intake was not big enough for the water supply for the sprinkler system. And like she said, the windows.
And then even the hood system for the robotic grill, where we couldn't go outside the wall, so it had to go through Manila, through Algoma Club, through the attic, and then up to the rooftop. Like,
yeah.
So we can get into that another time, but we did get to the point where we're like, the community wanted us to open our doors. We wanted to open our doors to Manila.
The time was right. Yeah.
It was time, but we still didn't have a chef.
Yep.
Because Ninoy was just like the helping us out, right? He was just here to help us out, and then he was going to go back to, finding a different job elsewhere. And he was just helping us out for that time. That's it.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute, what did I sign up here for? I said I would help. I said I'd do the whole thing.
So yeah, we were kind of in that position where we needed to find somebody, and I don't think it could have worked out any better, because it took us maybe 1, 2, or 3 times to ask Ninoy. I'd be like, hey, so what do you think? He's like, I'll let you know. He'd kind of smile.
Well, we had such strict requirements. Really, we needed a Filipino to be our Filipino head chef. Like, there wasn't any way around it. And the cousin you were trying to get from overseas, like, the paperwork just was not working out. And the U.S. government pretty much kept saying, you can find a Filipino head chef in Oshkosh. And we're like, really? Have you tried?
Are capable of doing that, so.
So we couldn't get his approval to come. And so then, yes, after a few times, Ninoy, what were you thinking during all that?
Yeah, because at the time, how I was very hesitant because how do I do it?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
You
I don't even know. I know how to turn on the stove, but where and what do I have to start?
Yeah.
When do I start? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
But then I came into like come to realize that hey, we need to open. And I remember one of my mentors said, if you are really into it, even if you don't know anything, if you want to learn, you will learn. So
and learn we have.
yeah. So I said, okay. If they will offer it to me again, I will say yes. And then you guys offered it, and I said yes.
Yeah.
But then after that, every time I go in the Philippines and visit my wife, I have to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school in a short culinary school thing, and then I learned some other, how to prepare and cook all this stuff.
Yeah, that was one of the cool things too that Kuya Ninoy was able to do when he was there. Like he was able to check out what the current trends that was being served over there.
And beside that, I was already every time I go there, Auntie Julie was already enrolled me in school.
Yeah. You just showed up and you have an itinerary ready for you.
She will just give me the schedule. Oh, this is your schedule. This is
Oh, no vacation. Sorry.
I have to go.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the things. Like, I love that you are, like, a lot of the recipes are Marlo's, stemming from Marlo's mom, because that's her family that's, like we talked about before with Lolo and your dad being so tight that these recipes a lot of them are from the north of the Philippines. And so I love that you have that aspect that you're bringing. And then also you had, like, the trends that you were bringing in from the culinary schools that you went to, like, in present times.
Or even just going on to the restaurants, right?
And it's really hard. Yeah, we go. I think every night.
Because when you're in the Philippines, all you do is eat.
We go there and eat every night. And one thing more is, the hard part is, Philippines is divided into 7,100 islands.
Yeah.
And every island have different way of cooking the dish, like the adobo itself.
Yeah.
The pork adobo or any kind of adobo. But the adobo, like from the north compared to south, is different.
Yeah.
From the east to the west is different. So every Filipino will say this is not the adobo, but this is not right. This is not the right adobo. But then, because that's not the way how they grow up with that. With that adobo. So what I did with our adobo is
secrets. Here they come.
With our recipe from the north. And I tasted different kinds of adobos from the south and the east and the west.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of try to combine them all together, and that's how our adobo is.
Nice.
Stop! I didn't know that. You know what? I had there was the first 2 years that we were open. That was when I was here every evening, right? And so when I would talk with the guests, and so often we would get Filipinos from all over that would say, oh my goodness, this tastes just like my mom's. And I'm like, oh really, where are you from? Thinking they're going to say the north or Luzon or Vizcaya or like somewhere around there, right? And then when they wouldn't say that answer, I'd be like, oh, that's great, because it wasn't like I was thinking, oh, it's probably way different. But that's why it was so familiar, because you kind of did your best combination.
Yeah, I combined from that's why
you're clever.
Mostly in the north, the adobos there are kind of a little saltier and fattier.
Mm.
In the south, or let's just say in the NCR, the National Capital Region, we have, because the people that lives there are more are Tagalogs.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're like sweeter.
Or
Like your dad parts.
Yeah, he's pretty sweet.
Yeah, he's he's
But and
sweet.
I heard
He
that
likes
his,
sweet. They like sweet.
I heard that his province uses coconut milk in their adobo.
Yeah.
So that's like the biggest, easiest way for me to explain how adobo could actually be different for different areas is like, well, up in the north, it's one way. Down in the south, they would even add coconut milk. And so same dish, but just styled differently because of the region you're in.
Yeah, that's why I would say Manila restaurant adobo is unique because it's a combination of the whole Philippines.
Right on.
Beautiful. Perfect.
Brings
Good.
up something to mind here. You know, when we touch tables or when we speak with guests and they give us a little bit of feedback and everything, or even when you see some reviews or see comment cards, and to hear people that have been looking for Filipino food and they find us and they say, man, this takes me right back home, or this takes me back to the time when I was stationed over there in the Philippines and I was, you know, food is one of those things that brings back memories at an instant, you know, whether you even want to think about it or not, it just happens. That's a cool thing that I very much enjoy being a part of here at Manila and hearing people's reactions. And I hope you know that there are lots of people that really enjoy everything that you put out there, Kuya. Like, you're the man.
And how many people that they're like, oh, tell me about the chef. And like, they want to know who you are, what your story is, because like that was the food you created and it was so perfect for them. Right. And so when I come out, like clearly I'm not Filipino. And so they want to know like, who's the real story behind this? Let me know who's really doing this thing. Right. And so then when you come out from behind the kitchen and you get to interact with the guests, I'm sure you've heard a lot of stories too, I'm sure.
I think the secret of cooking in the kitchen, like in a restaurant, is when you put in a recipe together, what you have to think is like cooking for the family.
Mm-hmm.
Then you will create like a good recipe that a whole family can enjoy.
Yeah, and that's kind of been our mantra here, right? We want to take care of our team, like their family, and that'll spill over to them taking care of our guests, which you guys are very much our family, because without you guys, we would not be here. And really, it's hard to be pioneers of anything. Like, we're the first to hit the valley with Filipino food, and you know the reception that we've gotten over the years has been great.
I remember we were getting a family consistently coming from Minnesota, that they would drive to Oshkosh from Minnesota just so they could have Filipino food. And even like sometimes in Milwaukee and Madison, like there'll be maybe a Filipino restaurant will pop up, but it doesn't have longevity necessarily. And so getting people from the southern part of the state coming up to Oshkosh just so they can have Filipino food, I think is pretty strong. Says a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know, there's plenty of other things here to do in Oshkosh. We've had I know there's been a couple people where they'll plan out their day. They'll come shopping in the morning. They'll come here for lunch. They'll go back out shopping again, or do some sightseeing, maybe at the Paint Arts Center or museum, and then they'll come back for dinner. And then they'll stay at the Best Western, or even over at Brayton's, the bed and breakfast just down the road. Like, it's pretty cool to hear that people are making us like a destination to come and visit, just to have some Filipino food.
Now that's pretty powerful, right? When you think of why you started this whole thing in the beginning to share your culture and your food with the community, and it's overstepping, it's beyond the community, and it's the greater part into Wisconsin, and sometimes, like I said, Minnesota, or getting people coming up from Chicago, as well. So that's huge what you're doing. Way to go. Way to go, team. Go, team, go.
Yeah. Oh, we got a phone call. Should we patch it in?
Sorry.
Is there a special guest we can be?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Oh, what do you
Right
got
on.
up next?
Really,
Really, we get to just show him our love right now. We get to love on Chef Ninoy. Tell him how great he is.
Yeah. Well,
Amazing
okay.
is.
Let's before we get to that, like, what's been your what's your time been like here? Like, what's something that you really enjoy about being part of here?
Manila Resto.
I'm speechless, but I really love this place. I think when I moved here, from the first time I already felt that a different kinds of feelings, unexplainable feelings that I would say until the last breath I will be here. Everything that we have here, everything that we do is something like different that I would say that I can keep it as a treasure for my life. So,
Yeah.
Well, that says a lot.
You know, I don't think people say things enough, but we just want you to know that we love you. We love everything that you've, done for us outside of Manila, at Manila, just everything. Like, you truly are, the heart and soul of everything that we do here, and it shows. We love you, man.
I love you too. I think that's one of the not bad, but I think that once I promised myself, I kept it up to the last.
You are a man of your word.
I'm trying to.
Well, let's keep this thing going, man, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I add in a question? This is totally like out of order now. Chef, out of all of our dishes here on our menu, what is your favorite?
Everything.
You have to choose one that is your favorite, or one that you go home and also cook.
Or if you meeting someone for the first time and you're like, oh, I'm the head chef over at Manila, like, what should that person try?
My adobo.
Your adobo?
There we go. The adobo. That was the theme of today.
Ooh,
Because-
speaking of adobo, go ahead.
That adobo to me, is like the whole Philippines adobo.
Yeah.
A combination of adobo from the whole Philippines.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, we're in the midst of changing our menu, and
So you're changing the adobo?
we're adding. Yeah.
No, not the adobo.
Unless you want to. No, but we're adding CPA, and that's chicken pork adobo. So for those of you who have a tough time choosing between chicken or pork, you have the best of both worlds now.
Yep.
When we first started too, we did have lamb adobo, which is one of our fusion dishes, because typically you don't find lamb in the Philippines because they be too skinny.
Our lamb there is the goat.
Goat. Yeah.
And that's very much a different taste. But yeah, we'll definitely get one of those, or get that lamb adobo back on our menu. Specialty menu, or
Monthly special.
run a special sometime soon. But cool story about the lamb that we use. It's locally sourced from the Eckerman Sheep Farm up in Anago, Wisconsin.
Anigo. T is
Did I
silent.
pronounce it right?
Anigo.
Anigo?
Heavy on the O.
Antigo.
You still have to take a visit up there, right? You haven't been up there
I've been there once.
once? By yourself, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You'll have to go with us sometime.
Yeah.
You can take Patricia, and then she can see what's going on up in the
Wait.
North Woods.
We've got the lambs coming already, so it's really fun to watch the kids with the lambs.
You know what? You should help Steve, Patty's dad, shear sometime.
I think they just got sheared. I think that is not Dad's favorite. He hires that out.
Yeah.
I want to try one day.
There
Yeah?
you go.
I'll teach you. I took a couple courses. I'll teach you.
Oh.
I'll show you on the dog.
I've watched. Does that count? I could maybe tell you what to do. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
All right.
Are you going to share some specials with us, or what are we doing with
We
that?
will. We're actually going to be filming and shooting those here soon, so they'll see the finished product here once we get that done. So, but yeah, thank you again, Kuya Ninoy. We'll definitely have to have you back here again sometime soon. wasn't too bad, right?
No, it wasn't.
The microphone didn't bite you. It's very
know,
far away.
I know.
It's very far away.
Yeah, like what I said, I like to talk all the time, but without mic. You want to mute me? Just
Maybe
bring
we'll put a
mic.
lav on you next time so you don't have to lean in. But yeah, speaking of family, we want to give a shout out to Elsie, our cousin back in the Philippines. It was her birthday just a couple days ago, so happy birthday. We love you. We got a FaceTime call from them. I don't remember what day it was, but yeah, it was fun. I haven't talked to those guys in a long time, so
Good thing we have technology, right?
yeah, hopefully after we get all this stuff back to normal sometime soon so we can visit each other.
Yeah, and actually, I remember you telling me that, like when you were courting your wife, or like even just you guys were married, but you didn't have the FaceTime or the different apps that you could use, right? And you were
No.
literally writing letters back and forth to each other.
Yeah, we had to write each other 2 weeks
2 weeks.
before you receive the letter.
That's crazy. And like now it's like you send a text
Seconds.
and they're not like,
Seconds, you got it.
answer me.
Why didn't you answer? Come on.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Times have changed.
Yeah.
Times have changed. And Manila's evolved as well. Like we talked about, we started with that teaser menu, and then our menu has evolved over the years, and your style has become more and more perfected. And we get all of these different specials that we get to share with you that half the time you're just inventing and coming up with them, or
Yeah.
or learning about them in other ways. So I love that.
He's
we're-
responsible for introducing Boodle too.
the
Boodle fight.
Boodle
Oh
fight.
my
Yeah.
goodness, yes.
Yep.
So I love that we're not stagnant. We're not the same restaurant we were when we first opened 9 years ago, 8 years ago.
It'll be 9 in September.
Yeah, we're not the same restaurant. We've evolved along the way, and I think all of those transitions we've made have been for the better. And you've been a part of every single one and leading usually every single one. So thank you for that. Thanks for keeping us on top of the trends and one of the best restaurants in Oshkosh and in the state of Wisconsin. I may be biased.
Thank you also.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Right on. Any shout outs to anybody back home in the Philippines? In Ilocano, so I don't understand.
Hey, Lloyd.
No. All right. Well, thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do this again.
Yep.
Yeah. So now we'll roll the video for our monthly specials for March, and we'll be back
Grab
to
a napkin.
wrap things
Wipe
up
the
with
drool.
we'll be back to wrap things up with a little bit of Osh talk. Let's give it up for Ninoy.
Hi, it's Sarah with Manila Resto, and I'm here to tell you about our monthly specials for March. First, we have our drink special, Irish Waters. It's time to get festive with our Irish Waters, featuring blue carousel, pineapple juice, Jameson, and sour mix. Find yourself taking in the sights and sounds with this drink special. Our sushi special this month will be the Sushi Bank. Chef Ninoy keeps up with a new Asian sushi trend and brings the Sushi Bake to you. The Sushi Bake begins with a layer of sushi rice, then followed with your choice of freshly diced salmon, red tuna, or white tuna, mixed with spicy mayo. Then to top things off, we add fresh avocado, cucumber, sesame seeds, eel sauce, and spicy mayo. The Sushi Bake is then put in the oven and baked, served with nori sheets for you to scoop up all that goodness. Our Filipino special this month is the pork belly curry. We take our classic curry recipe and combine it with our hearty deep-fried pork belly. The pork belly curry is served with potatoes, carrots, and bell peppers. Want to make it spicy? No problem. We can make it hot just for you. See you at Manila Resto soon. Mabuhay!
All right, we're back, and we have one of our littles here, Reginald. Can you say hi? No, he's not shy.
I know. We asked him.
We were talking him through everything. He's like, yeah.
All right.
All right. Big shout out to the Lourdes Academy boys team. They're playing in the sectional final tonight. Probably won't hear the results on this episode until afterwards. But they got a good team, man. They got a good squad. Coach Rudy, Coach Huizinga, Coach Hop. Those were all guys that were with my myself, Tim, and Nate back in the day when we were in high school. But yeah, one more win, and it brings them to state. And speaking of state, we do have the girls' state championship happening here in Oshkosh, which is pretty neat. On our way in, it was nice to see the parking lot full of cars and buses and people waiting to get inside. Oh, I just miss watching live basketball.
Yeah. So that's hosted at the Herd Arena.
Yes, Menominee Nation Arena. So divisions 1 and 3 are here, and then 2, 4, and 5 are at the Lacrosse Center over there on campus. And that's just going to be the same story for the boys, too. You know, I know you're not a big, sports fan, hoops fan, or whatever, but I think...
But I'm a community fan.
You are a community fan. I think it's pretty interesting that they have... so both the semifinal games are today, and then the final is tonight. So I'm guessing this is probably a way for them to limit just something, with all this stuff going on.
Yeah, they have to be creative, during these COVID times that you can't host things the way that we used to, and
no,
it's got to be different. So that's good that they're doing things.
Yeah, but there's
a different way.
It's better for them to be having that opportunity than not. I just remember last year too, when all this stuff was happening, like their playoff seasons got cut off. So that's it was unfortunate, but it was just we didn't know what was going on at the time, so we had to do that, or people had to do that, go down that road where they had to make those tough decisions about canceling, sports and everything like that. And, to think about these student athletes, some of them are seniors, some of them will never have that opportunity to finish things up. And that's sad, like
That's hard.
something that I don't know if it saddened or really hit them yet. I'm guessing, yeah. But I remember being, a student athlete, like how cool that was and how hard it hit me too once it was over. But obviously when my career was over, it was in a different fashion. So this is completely different.
Mm-hmm. So at least these students are getting that opportunity to play.
Yeah.
Whereas last year,
yeah, for sure,
that wasn't the case.
Well, when I was looking at, they were sharing lots of stories online on Fox 11. Shout out to our friends there. Telling people about like the different procedures and stuff that they're doing, which is pretty neat. They're selling tickets in bunches, so you can't buy individual tickets. So you can buy them in 2, 3, 4. And when looking at the pictures and stuff, everything was pretty well spaced apart, and they were planning on sanitizing the arena in between games and everything. So they're doing everything that they can to be as safe as possible, which is good to see, to give kids an opportunity, and parents and family, friends, students to see and root for their teams. Mm-hmm. I sent a message to our sister-in-law, Brenda. Her and Steve live out in Hudson, and the Hudson girls team is the number 2 seed, and they're actually here in town. So I was joking, oh, Brenda, you guys could have just hopped on the bus and came and visit us here in Oshkosh, so.
We try to do whatever we can to get them to cross the entire state to come visit us.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's, catching a girls' basketball team where they don't have any really connection to them since their kids are the same age as these little kids that
yeah,
they wouldn't know the high school girls, but anything.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's go. Get it done. Send us a trip to back to state. Love to see that. Talk about that some more.
Yeah.
So yeah, grand opening for Grant Moss and Grant. Is it Moss and Grant or Grant and Moss?
Oh well, now that you're I don't know.
Let's confirm that. But you had the opportunity to go stop by.
About them?
Yeah. Can you tell us about the little shop you guys went to last week?
How did you get to the little shop we went to?
What did you find there? Fairly certain it's Moss and Grant.
Horses with some little nookies.
Yeah, there were little baby items, right? There were baby items at Moss and Grant, and there was little like stuffies that were like horses, and then the tags on them were nookies, and so the kids, all like the little toys all in a row, they put the little nookies by their mouth to make it look like they were sucking on them. So you like looking at the baby toys? Do you remember what you bought there?
Yeah, what did you buy, man?
A basketball.
A little louder.
bath bomb.
A bath bomb. Did you get to use the bath bomb yet? No. Should we do that this weekend?
And I think there's a prize in it.
Yeah, sometimes there's prizes in bath bombs. This one looked like it had flower petals. I think it was petunia and
No, it was hard.
it was hard. So you think a toy is inside of it? Maybe. Maybe. Good. And I got these fancy earrings.
It was purple. It was purple.
Those are fun. Can I borrow them sometime?
You could. Evelyn already claimed them, and she was upset that I wore them before she got to wear them. And I said, excuse me.
It was purplish pink. It was purplish pink.
Purplish pink. And do you remember what Ate got? What did your sister get?
That's sewing thing.
It was a sewing kit, and so it was a cross-stitching little kit, beginner level. She's never cross-stitched before, but she uses a needle and thread quite often for her crafting creations. And so it was really nice. There was women's clothing there. There was different jewelry.
Yeah, so there really is a little bit of something for everyone.
Men's items, yeah. And then even having that crafting part was really, really cute. Like a really unique gift that you could just give to anyone. So you can buy stuff for yourself. You can buy stuff for anyone else. But it was fun, and it was nice that we just walked down the sidewalk to get there. So if you're at Manila for lunch, stop on over to Moss and Grant and check it out, or vice versa, because we're just right around the corner. So that's really fun too.
Yeah, I'm looking at their shop on Facebook right now. They really do have something for everyone.
Bye-bye.
Saw some pretty cool socks. John Lemon.
Yeah. And when
Sounds like John Lennon.
Clever. When I was talking with the owner, Elizabeth, she was saying that they had a really great soft opening and really great few days. Obviously, the nice weather helps to get people out and about in Wisconsin in February. And so she said she was already getting like 10, 12 new shipments coming in just to restock and have more variety in the shop. And so
yeah, it's only going to get better. I think we're over the hump, knock on wood, but it's like a heat wave. You can wear shorts outside now. It's 40 degrees.
there we go. We're good. It always snows in April.
Yeah.
We're in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Always will snow.
We're good for one more. Maybe not. Hopefully not. In other news, Oshkosh Defense, an Oshkosh Corp division just landed a huge contract to come up with the next generation delivery vehicle fleet for the United States Postal Office.
That's big news.
Yeah, or is it United States Postal Service? That's what it is, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. According to their website on OshkoshCorp.com. It's been long overdue. I feel like we've seen those cars, those delivery
The
vehicles.
relics.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
According to their website, those delivery vehicles have not been updated for over 3 decades.
Yeah, that's something.
So I wonder if it's the same ones that were built 30 years ago, or
That's what's
they
out on the
just-
street.
maybe they just were never updated,
I don't know.
or they just kept building the same design. I think very could have been like that, right? But this new contract allows for 50,000 or 100 or up to 165,000 vehicles over a 10-year period. Oshkosh Defense will be manufacturing both zero-emission battery electric vehicles, BEV, and fuel-efficient, low-emission internal combustion engine vehicles, ICE. I'm learning a lot of new different terms just reading this right now. Production is expected to begin in 2023. And yeah, how cool is that? I mean, that and all these other big companies that are starting to step up and introduce all these EV, electronic vehicles. Like, I don't know. I've been looking at tons of vehicles, as maybe you might have seen.
Always looking at vehicles. No, I think it's nice that why shouldn't the Postal Service get with the times, right? And those things are running every single day. Why wouldn't you make them as earth-friendly as possible?
Yeah.
I think it's great, and I just love that Oshkosh gets to have that little claim to fame since we get to have Oshkosh Corp right here in town with us. So I really like that, and I think it's so neat. And I get to see Oshkosh Corp every time I drive over on my commute in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's so pretty, and sometimes we get the best sunrises, and I think that they would have the best photos ever of their building
Right.
early in the morning. So it's just gorgeous right on the water, and
Even
the building
sunset,
is pretty.
too. Like, they have a
Yeah.
good view there.
Yeah.
Such a cool campus that they have there. And I know that was a big topic of discussion for many, because that used to be the former, Muni, Lakeshore Golf Course. Mm-hmm. And I know that hit home for a lot of people. It hit home for me too. Like, I
Change is hard.
yeah.
Bottom line, change is hard.
played golf there a lot with Papa and family friends. And yeah, like you said, change is hard, but in the end, I think the right decision was made in terms of for the greater
progress
of the economy here in town, because Oshkosh Corp is such a big powerhouse. It has so many different influences on so many people here and across the nation,
and worldwide.
Well,
like
really
globally.
here, like I'm happy that they're here, and I'm happy with seeing just a little bit of the development that's already happened around there. Like I guess you can call it a Riverwalk extension.
Yep.
It connects to Lake Butamore, the bridge, and then that connects to the Wewash Trail. So really, if you live in Winneconne or over in like Riff Road or in Butamore, it's really not too terrible for anybody to hop on a bike or run or just get on the trail to get to even downtown. Probably take, I don't know, if you're really hauling, maybe 30, 40 minutes by bike, maybe not that long. But yeah, it's cool to see all the different things that are taking place there. There's a new hotel. Casey's is open now. There's going to be some mixed office use, and I think a restaurant's going there. A lot of things that I don't completely know about, but there's stuff that's happening there. That whole corridor will be completely different here in the next, 2 years even.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Well, that'll be a nice entryway also for people that are coming into town to get to the university.
Yeah, that too.
Yep.
Yeah, so we use it mostly as that, using the bike trails, and that's been fun for our family.
Yeah, we did that this last summer.
A couple times.
Yeah.
And it is really nice, and it does look so different just because it was the golf course there, and now it's not. But growth and development will happen, and the community gets to use it for that trail, and yeah, I think that's been really nice. Another thought about.
Well, while you're thinking about that, I'm really interested to see what they decide to do with the rest of like the green space there. Whether they expand some more of the park area, maybe have some shelters and stuff for people to use for get-togethers and everything. One thing I remember about like going down to Atlanta was it's hot Atlanta, right? It's super hot. We were down there for a friend's wedding. But we were going around in the parks there. They had little areas where they had ice cream shops or simple things where you can get refreshments. That'd be kind of nice, right?
That would be perfect, because we did a lot of our backpacks were full of like the water or the snacks or the whatever, and then they go through all the snacks and they want more, and you're like, well, I didn't plan that many.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be cute, little shops like that along the way.
Or food trucks are cool. I know we've had some events and stuff over at South Park, but that could be another accessible point for people that have those types of businesses, Maybe we'll get a truck. Maybe we'll be out there.
If you say it, it'll happen. So watch what you're saying over here, buddy.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll be a nice new fresh look corridor of heading into town. It's pretty crazy to think of all the changes that have happened, even
that's what I was thinking of.
From when you've been here. Like
yes.
The new
the road, the highway, like that whole look is so different now. And then with the Oshkosh Corp area, that part looking different, like it just is such a good reminder that even, look at our building, 1887, the building here at Manila was built with
1884.
1884. Thank you. 1884, it was a grocery store, right? Like, if we say that we can't ever have change, this would still be a grocery store. And it's fine. It would be neat, right? It would work. But change happens for a reason. And so I like that Oshkosh is staying progressive, and the roadways change and things change.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's going to be cool to see all the different things that are going in there, and once it's all finalized.
Yeah, it'll look great.
But I love seeing progress and actually things happening, instead of, I was thinking today, like, just the people that put things into action. Like, we can sit here and talk about wanting to make things happen or whatever, but really it's seeing things come together is what is really cool to me.
Yeah, the result of that hard work, not just words, but the action that goes into it.
Yeah. A little shout out, American Outlaw shout out to the U.S. Women's National Team. They just won back-to-back a She Believes Cup this week, which marks their 4th title in this tournament.
Impressive, huh?
Yeah.
Girl power.
Yep. Former Wisconsin Badger Rose Lavelle had a nice game-winning goal at against Canada earlier on in the tournament to help them advance to the next stage. It was pretty tight the whole match, and then out came Rose with a game-winning goal.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's always great to see, Wisconsin being represented on the highest level in competition.
Yes. Yep.
Let's see what else is going on here for Osh Talk.
Kind of like that slogan of it's something good from Wisconsin.
Something good from Wisconsin. Yeah. The Pain Arts Center. You were reading about that a little bit, right?
So, I saw a couple things showed up on my Facebook, but it's also, again, on my commute, I see the billboards for the Pain Arts Center. So right now, is it open right now? Yeah, it's open right now. It'll go through May 30th, and it's called The Other Side. And the artist takes insects and arranges them in the most beautiful way. And I saw like behind the scenes as they were getting ready, and she's carefully, artistically arranging them on the wall. And I think that will be really neat. So often you don't think of insects as art, or I just love that there's such a different way of looking at things. And I like that the Pain Art Center is always bringing in new exhibits and new ways to look at things. And so that's really refreshing in our community that we get new exhibits all the time. So that one, a little bit of the stats on that, just so that you can goes through May 30th, Tuesday through Sunday. The Pain Arts Center is open from 11 to 4 p.m. And as we get to May, I know for sure that's when those tulips are going to be blooming. And that's when the Pain Arts Center is so beautiful, when all those tulips are in full bloom, but
for sure,
all summer long as well. So for adults to go, it's $9, $5 for youth. Kids 4 and under, they're free. And if you already are a Pain member, then of course it's free for that. So I was getting all the information from thepain.org. Otherwise, you can call 920-235-6903. Make your reservations so that you can go see The Other Side. And that, again, just like everyone, you were talking about the basketball, how things have to change with our COVID situation. Reservations and things like that change as well, so that it's a safe way for you to go visit the Pain Arts Center.
Yeah, you can also make your reservations online there too. So quick and easy, right?
Yeah.
But when I was doing a little bit of research too, I just was reminded that we could become Pain members. That seems pretty cool. I think you pay. There are different tiers of membership, but you pay a membership and you can go to any of the installations throughout the year. Like, we always go to the Nutcracker, right? That's always fun.
The kids love it. I love it.
And this makes Patty always want to have a huge dining room with all those pretty Christmas decorations, right?
Yes.
and the cakes too. They can room for lots more cakes then.
Yeah, because all of Tamara's cakes, Tamara Cake Guru, all of her cakes and all of that is on display there, and so that's really fun. And that's where Evelyn, I don't know which school that is, if that's Julie's Touch of Silver or Richard's School of the Dance. Uh-huh. One of the dance school always has their dancers perform there as well, and so that was one of the catalysts that Evelyn.
Yeah,
from
then she got into dance.
Then she got into dance. Yeah. And then that little fairy cafe. So sorry, this is all during the Nutcracker, which is not on exhibit right now, but it was all just so cute. It was really fun. We ended up getting all the cousins together. This was pre-COVID, and we had a blast doing that. But considering we're right here in Oshkosh, and we've gone a couple times after farmers markets or things like that, where we're out and about and we're like, oh, we should pop in. We really should just get that Pain membership.
Yeah, definitely.
Surprised we don't have it already.
Even just to be okay, kids, let's go take a walk in the gardens. The gardens are so pretty.
In the summer, they're beautiful.
Yep.
We've been to plenty of weddings there.
Oh, yeah. But, hey, it's a great venue for it.
Yeah, it is. So beautiful.
Yeah. Also, just paging through Facebook and social media, there was just a post recently that Oshkosh Jazz Festival is getting a move on things.
Saw that.
They have a date set, and it's going to be on August 28th this year. The inaugural event was supposed to take place last year in August, but COVID.
What? Yeah. What can you do? So
Boo. We need a boo button on here.
you don't have one of those, huh?
Not yet. We'll get that on here. But we're not booing too many things except for COVID. So artists that are going to be featured there are Water City Jazz Orchestra and Saturday Night Live alum Joe Piscopo as the host, which is pretty neat. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more happening during that event, and I'm guessing that there'll be a lot more artists and stuff that'll be playing, so that'll be cool. We love jazz.
Oh my goodness. Well,
Jazz.
The Water City Jazz Orchestra started here.
Yeah, big shout out to them, Mike Malone and crew.
This
Kurt
space
Scheib.
right here.
Yeah. When they were looking at getting this thing started, they approached us and asked us if they could use Manila as the venue. So we made it simple. Man, it's been a minute. Was it the last Monday of the month?
I think so.
That they were going to be here, and we moved the tables aside here. We crammed in like a 15-piece band.
It was amazing.
It was great. One of the thing about the space here at the restaurant is it's so live, and you can just hear everything. Mm-hmm. It's great. I miss them, but they're down over at Fletch's now, and you can catch them there whenever they're performing, which is the same time. I'm actually not sure if they're doing anything right now during COVID, but yeah, I'm sure they'll be anxious to get things started there again. But yeah, be sure to follow Oshkosh Jazz Festival on social media, on the Facebook page. Big shout out to Chris Larson, Aaron Boehm, TJ Rogers, Carrie Sharp from the Howard for helping us bring this cool event to town.
Yes.
And also to all of our local musicians, especially to Mike Underwood and Kurt Scheib. You know, I want those guys to come on here sometime.
Get a bleep up button.
I just, I'm trying to picture how that conversation will go. I'm guessing that there's going to be a lot of laughs, and hopefully we can fill you in on a lot of the inside jokes that we have going on that we're giggling about. But back to the Oshkosh Jazz Festival. It's a free event to the public, again, on August 28th, and we look very much to being a part of it in any way that we can. So, yeah, jazz.
Oshkosh is that music city, right? All those talented musicians right here.
For sure. Well, are you ready to wrap things up here?
Yeah, we talked a lot about a lot today.
Yeah, we had some pretty cool stories that I've never even heard of from Chef.
Yeah, that was really neat.
Yeah, so I'm sure he's got plenty more, so we'll definitely get it back on here soon.
Tap into some more of those.
Yeah.
The specials for looking good.
Mm-hmm. I'm still learning how to push all these episodes to all the different platforms right now.
Good there.
I just submitted the thing for Apple. I haven't checked my email to see if it was approved yet or not, but yeah, be sure to follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and through our website. On our website, we have the video and audio there for you guys to enjoy.
Yeah,
So.
that way then if you're hearing child noises, and then if you watch the film, it'll make sense because it was a child.
Maybe it's more
here.
entertaining that way.
Yeah, I don't know what I was not doing correct with the Spider-Man, but apparently I was not following it the way he wanted it done.
Yeah. But
Anyway.
Oh, YouTube also. We're on there.
Yeah. So you said Facebook, Instagram, your website.
YouTube.
And YouTube.
Yep.
Website is?
TheBarkadaPodcast.com.
And our Facebook and Instagram?
The Barkada Podcast.
Just to reiterate it, right?
Yeah.
So find us there, check it out, and then as soon as we get it onto other platforms, we'll keep keeping you guys updated as we roll out with this. Like I know, like it feels good to say like episode 4, right?
Yeah.
And then we're thinking down the line when we're saying like, wow, 104. Remember when we were first starting this?
Yeah.
And I'm sure it'll have a lot of similarities of this journey that we've had, just opening Manila or opening Algoma Club or being a part of the community or things in different ways, right? Like every journey has similarities along it. And good thing we can keep learning from these journeys because we've got a lot to learn in life, definitely.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot more stories will come about when we bring other like minds into, the podcast. Like I know I want to bring on John over from Zeroni's, and that's another, person that him and his family are very involved in the community, and they've done a lot of cool things too. It'd be interesting to hear, how the story of Zeroni's came to be and how fast it came to be, really,
Yeah.
and it's pretty quite remarkable how they were able to pull all that stuff off. But
And cement themselves in the community.
if it was anybody that was going to be able to do it, it was them, so yeah, we'd love to have them on at some point. I reached out to John and he said, yeah, totally down. So
Perfect. So that's coming up. And I do like that as people are sharing this with their friends and family, and commenting like, hey, I just caught your episode. Like, could I be on your podcast? And I think that's really fun. And we talked a lot about, when we were together on the episode 2, about the Barkada, and the Barkada meaning like your close inner circle, right? Like, you have your close inner circle, but sometimes that your circle can open up its arms and bring others in. And so I really like that. We're really just joining hands with people in the community and really sharing our stories, because we all have a story, and all of our stories are worth sharing, and they're important, and we can learn so much from everyone along the way. And it's really beautiful what you've created here, and I'm happy that I got to be a part of this again. So thanks for letting me be on again.
yeah, for sure. All right. Peace and love to all of you. And we'll catch you on another episode of the Barkada Podcast.